What she has done is criminal. I don't see how she can run. What she did is far worse than what General Petraeus did, and he's gone down in disgrace. I mean, you know, what he did is not as bad as what Hillary Clinton did, and it's similar, but it's not as bad. I mean, she got rid of her server. He never did anything like that.
Donald Trump yesterday on CNN's State of the Union, and you just heard him say that what Hillary Clinton did with her email server was criminal. Mr. Trump's comments come after two independent inspectors general recommended the Department of Justice launch an investigation into how Mrs. Clinton handled her email account while serving as Secretary of State. The New York Times originally reported that the inspectors general asked for a criminal probe, but since they've backed off that claim. For more, let's bring in our panel. Joining us via Skype from Utica, New York, it's our friend John Zogby, the senior analyst for Zogby Analytics. And joining us from our Newsmax TV newsroom, Javier Manjarres, managing editor of the Shark Tank political blog. So, we hear Donald Trump say Hillary's actions with that email server were criminal. Javier, do you agree?
Well, in a way I do, because really what she did was far worse than what General Petraeus did. General Petraeus shared those classified emails with his mistress. She shared them with who knows how many people. Again, as far as criminal, I couldn't tell you. I don't know the law when it comes to that. But I see what Trump is saying, and there needs to be a criminal investigation into this matter.
John Zogby, do you agree with Mr. Trump comparing Secretary of State Clinton's actions to those of General Petraeus?
Comparing them, yes. Whether it's criminal or not, I really don't know, like Javier, but what I do know is that it stinks. And at this point in time, it's getting close to the Iowa caucuses, getting very close for Democrats to be making some sort of a decision. And what there is stink around this candidacy, and she doesn't need that.
Well, the odoriferous smell coming out of there is causing some problems. Javier, the polls are showing that Hillary Clinton is not trusted. Will this spell perhaps the end of her candidacy?
Well, I don't know if it'll spend the end of her candidacy. I know that when the liberal left, who used to support her, is backing anyone but Hillary, she has real big problems with the base. And I think someone like Sanders, that's why we see Bernie Sanders doing so well in the polls. I still think someone else will get in the race. And if someone else gets in the race, like Elizabeth Warren or even Julian Castro, what I've been saying for months, I think that'll spell the end of Hillary Clinton.
John Zogby, there is another candidate out there possibly, because there's a group called Draft Biden 2016 that recently released a video urging support for the vice president. Their petition for him to run now has over 150,000 signatures. What about it, John Zogby? Do you think Joe Biden is going to get in this race?
I think he wants to, and I think the people around him want to. I think he's just watching and waiting to see what develops, and I think it's probably a wise thing for him to do. I do agree that there will be another candidate. It won't be Bernie Sanders. I think he's proving his mettle by orchestrating the progressive left of the party. But I think when push comes to shove, Hillary is going to be viewed as unelectable, is going to worry the establishment of her party, is not going to generate any enthusiasm among Latinos, among African Americans, for that matter, among young voters. Somebody will come in. It could very well be Joe Biden.
Gentlemen, about 1:30 remains, and in that remaining time, let's talk about the Planned Parenthood controversy. A lot of criticism for that organization after all those horrific videos showing executives, in fact physicians, seemingly bargaining about fetal body parts. Senator Rand Paul says he'll continue to push to stop federal funding of the program. Is it time to stop federal funding of Planned Parenthood? 30 seconds each. Javi, to you first.
I agree. Unfortunately, there are some things that the Planned Parenthood does help women and the public as a whole, but for the most part, it needs to be defunded from federal dollars, just because of if what they did is true, it's criminal, and that's criminal, and that should be it should be addressed.
Well, and of course, community health centers already offer those women's health services. Right. John Zogby, your take on this? No more federal funding of Planned Parenthood?
That I don't know. What I do know is, just politically speaking, this issue of abortion is driven by intensity. When there is the killing of an abortion doctor in the late 1990s, the intensity is on the left, on the pro-choice side. It turns close elections. When the intensity is on the other side, partial birth or late-term abortions, it turns elections and tilts them to the right. This is the sort of thing that not only fuels the right to show up to vote, but more importantly, I think it fuels younger Christian conservatives who have not really wanted to talk about abortion. They want to talk about global poverty and so on, and that could tilt them over into the Republican camp.
John Zogby and Javier Manjarres, thank you for your time, and Newsmax Prime will be back right after this.